you look at this draft and Wildcard, you can't help but feel absolute disgust.
Yeah.
Husker Tinker. Like, if Wildcard has to win this to justify these picks. If they don't, then it's just disgust. This is a disgusting way to go. So this must pay off for Wildcard. We'll see. I still like Bates' draft, honestly. Like, this draft is really annoying to deal with.
Stonebank has beat the record of most deaths. Yeah, most deaths in the qualifier. Most deaf. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, Jonathan.
What are you saying? I thought I had the trouble with the TH, Mike.
Well,
you make fun of my TH all the time. What are you doing?
You do have trouble with TH, Jonathan.
Yeah, but now you're mixing up all the players. You think Kiyotaka and DePrescott are different. You think WEU and EEU is the same. What's wrong? What's happening? What's happening, Michael Phoenix?
I stand by it. Stonebank. He's going to be okay.
3-for-1 in the bounties is a good start for Bait, though. So more than happy to get that done. And we can take a look at the bot lane. This is a line slaughter lane. That is so annoying. Like, just chain stuns alone is already very annoying. They will start with a bit of an early trial lane with Taiga walking up, maybe looking for the gate usage in a little bit. But the moment you come close you might die. Level 2, level 3 is going to be a big spike for Stonebank and Stoneman. And Sammy's going to have to watch himself. Like, he hasn't leveled anything up. So he hasn't taken the Burning Spears or Inner Fire up. He will take Inner Fire, but yeah, it's just an annoying lane.
Yeah, Stoneman. He's going to cop a fair bit there. We'll be okay to back off, but it is certainly an annoying lane. Like, this Marcy Husker situation can be pretty devastating to have to try and play against, and you're going to have the sidekick on top, which is going to be even more annoying. See what they can do about it. Like, at least you do have this double stun combo, so if you do catch them getting a little bit too deep, it's not too hard to burst somebody down, but problem is you need those initial levels, and the initial levels are quite hard to get when you're up against Marcy Husker.
That it is. Let's see how they can ramp up. I think level 3 is also pretty big for Wildcard, to be fair. So if they can just hold steady, farm like this until that point, then they should be able to try to fight up against Stonebank and Stomanen. Still can take a look at the other lanes. Up top, you do have the Gyro Io lane of Vichun and Kadaro up against Sunlight and Taiga on the Underlord and Rubik. And this is doubling down on minus damage aura. You've got the Fade Bolt, you've got the Atrophy, so it can be rather annoying for Vichun to just try to play his game here. I mean, minus 11 damage is not a good time in terms of trying to get CS on the Gyro, so they can put a dent into that ramp up for Vichun. This is still basically a farming lane for both sides, so you will just be playing passive, but all the minus damage you do have, it's going to be a little bit more awkward for Vichun, although they are getting aggressive now.
Yeah, Tiger. We chase down, but Kadara is the only one really around for the right click, so not gonna really mean too much here. Tiger will just salve up. Bit of regen expended, I suppose. Bottom lane. Stoneman and Stonebank look like they were thinking about trying to make a jump on Sammy, but decide better of it. They will actually miss an Earth Spike. Stonebank was disposed by Husky. We'll be okay. You're not at the stage where Sammy really has so much damage to dish out. Like, he still has no points in Burning Spear. So it's kind of like, it seems like he just wants to farm.
Yeah, I think that's the right read in this lane. You don't want to be overly punished for your movements forward with the chain stun, so you just look to farm up, look to regen, play around with a sidekick, plus your added regen coming in from Berserkers. So it feels pretty good. I think the last lane we have to really look at is that mid lane for Dendi and for RCY, the Wind Ranger versus Tinker. It is certainly going RCY's way. I mean, this is not a lane that the Wind Ranger shines particularly well in. And RCY does have control. So this is the one lane that really is coming out for Wildcard quite strong. And this is the one here that really needs to pop off. Like, if RCY is allowed a smooth start, catching the Tinker with this lineup, you're going to be waiting for blink timings, which most of the time nowadays, Slaughter doesn't rush. So catching RCY is just going to be a little bit of a challenge overall. And he is set to have that good start. He's working on his own blink as well to come out first instead of anything else. No, not even a Soul Ring coming out.
A lot of damage happening in both side lanes. Sammy might drop bottom, but no, he barely survives. Sunlight was dropping rather low himself on the Underlord, but he also barely survives. So both side lanes starting to really ramp up here from Bait, it seems. To be fair, they have hit those timings. Like, these level 3 marks for both side lanes are really strong, as now Sunlight being dived to tier 1 tower, he's just gone. They want Tiger to boot. Tiger's going to try to run out, but the homing missile is eventually... No, it doesn't get used. VTune decides better off it. All right.
Yeah.
He'd rather just save the mana.
Maybe a little bit outside of range, perhaps, when he was splitting up to go back to the creep wave. So just misses out on that opportunity. I never realized the companion cube would sing the song. I suppose we just never heard an IO kill. Which song is it? The song in Portal 1. I forget. I'm really bad with remembering stuff. But yes. Don't tell me you haven't played Portal, Mike.
You know I haven't played Portal, John. You know?
Wait, I legitimately actually didn't know.
Yes. Husky gets a kill bottom lane. Stop it. Yes, you did know, John. Because I've told you before that I never had the opportunity. Before anyone asks, it's not my fault that I was brought up in a home that didn't have much money. We couldn't afford a PC that could run these games, Jonathan. All right?
That's
I
fair.
missed it.
Well, you can always go back and play them recently. They're still good games.
True.
No excuses here, Mike. Like Dota 2 is a great game as well.
And I play a lot of it. I promise you that. In fact, the only game I really play for the past 20 years.
That's the biggest problem with your personality, Mike. 1-1 start. Yeah. And again, you're off to stronger laning starts here for Wildcard. Sammy's had a pretty fantastic time just building up. And RCY is in much better shape than in game 1. Deny onto the double damage rune is pretty nice, but Dendy's not getting any top up at all. And it's really the Tinker that's going to be an issue here. Just because no one's been able to stop him. Mind you, RCY doesn't have stacks to clear out. So this Tinker's not just going to suddenly escalate into a beast. But still, just left unchecked, Dendy's not able to get his own start going. No early Javelin, no early build-up. The Wind Ranger, it doesn't feel like it's going to be able to do much either. Yeah, the Wind Ranger eating space never feels good, considering this kind of start for Dendy.
No. But if you're Wildcard, like seeing the Tinker having this good of a start is going to make you very happy. And speaking of good starts, like Sammy's 45 and 11 in terms of CS as well on the Husker. He's having a very free time down to that bottom lane, so both your mid and safe lane have had a really, really good time. You can kind of make the argument Sunlight has not had as great of a time himself on the Underlord, but he's gotten to the point where he has a Vanguard up. So he can kind of just sit in the lane and just farm now with Firestorm. So he should be able to just catch up just fine.
Yeah, shouldn't be any problems here. In fact, they're rotating a lot of heroes up top. 4 heroes here.
Tune. Obviously the big target they really want. Tiger looking for a lift up. Seems like they're very well aware, though. Look, they're aware that they're coming. RCY has been missing. In fact, he may have been spotted underneath that ward in the triangle, to be fair. So they may have had that slight bit of vision to tell them the Tinker was top. Could try for Dendy, maybe? Husky's around, but he won't bother even trying for the rebound. Just sticking around for the 8-minute power rune timing. Fighting Stominant over it by the seams of it. Can Dendy actually get a power rune? The answer is yes. He does get one. Very nice.
Yeah. See if he can do anything with it, though. Doesn't feel like he can leave mid anytime soon. Blink already done on RCY as well. He can start to show up a little bit.
Oh, Stominant. He's the one to get caught. A spike out. It's not going to make the difference. And RCY doing Tinker things, you know? RCY is like, excuse me, that's mine. Thank you very much. What a high-value hero.
Yeah, comes in, gets the kill, goes out, looks for another kill. Soul Ring almost done. Spell spam can continue. And this Tinker is set to just escalate. You're not even at higher levels of rearm for that lower duration of the rearm. So, no answers from Bait. Just trying to build up in Vitoon, but fortunately, the Gyrocopter is managing to build up quite well. I don't know why I said that. I remember being told by someone it's Vitoon, but I'm like...
Vitoon.
I'm pretty sure it's just VTune, but I forget. Someone told me that a long time ago, and I was trying to recall. It's been a long time, Mike, okay? Since we've seen VTune ourselves. It's been a while.
I mean, he's got a hyphen between the V and tune.
I forget who told me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's VTune.
So I
might be
remember
mixing
somebody
stuff
told
up.
you, and I was like, "This who the hell's this?" Like, well, you know, makes no sense. I mean, they could be right, to be fair, but
Well, if we never know, we're never wrong.
that's right.
Still, I think scaling up, it does feel like Wildcard's the one that should start to play their game soon. Again, you've got this early timing set. Sammy already has Armlet. You've got the Tinker with Blink going straight for the Shiva's guard, so the spam's going to be kicking in. It's bait that needs to hold off the Storm. To be fair, all their objectives are standing, so it doesn't feel too bad yet.
Oh, Dendi gets lifted up there for a moment, but gets tossed the other way. So Tiger not interested in setting up a kill attempt, I suppose. Did have RCY by him, but RCY decides it's more important to steal the farm of Sunlight now. Sunlight.
It's his farm.
That's very true. It is now. Thank you very much. See you later.
Gives it thanks.
See, that's the thing with
Classic
this
Tinker
Tinker
player.
pick. Like, this is literally like they're just telling this Tinker, like, you are going to carry the game. This is it.
No, I don't think
Sammy's going to be annoying. What is it, John?
they're not saying you are going to carry. You have to carry the game.
You have to carry.
He is
Yeah.
the win condition. That's really it. I mean, down the line, the Husker can scale back in if you hit your 25 pure damage burning spears, but that's a long time away. Like, the intermediate item spikes are still good for Sammy if he maintains a sizable lead, but he doesn't really maintain a sizable lead. It's just a marginal lead over VTune, who should be able to farm up. Into that Ags timing that we tend to see the Gyrocopter, he went for the classic Maelstrom. Smoke out from bait. No finger up yet in Stommen.
Top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower has fallen.
We'll get away with the top tier 1 tower. That'll be about it for now. And bait, they are rotating down towards the southern side of the map, so it seems like they're trying to hunt through this Radiant jungle. Literally nobody from Wildcard is around that area, though.
Dire are scanning.
They're all huddled up top together. So this gank attempt from bait really does not pan out, but they do at least get an observer ward down while they're there. Meanwhile, VTune and Kadaro will show themselves back by the tier 2 tower, but obviously Wildcard not going to go for a deep dive this early on. Instead, they are pinging down bottom lane. So it seems like they'll try to go for Stonebank. Maybe even Dendi, who's sticking around that area as the Wind Ranger. Or maybe not even. I mean, they've already kind of left the area anyway. So it's no fight to break up.
Yeah. Just farming. And I don't think this is necessarily unfavorable for Wildcard yet. I think, again, you still have room to grow on RCY and on Sammy. You do kind of want to use your level spikes here, but again, you are just slowly choking out bait just a little bit. This is the one annoying thing. Taiga did steal Tether. So I suppose you have your own IO now. We have IO at home, and it's Rubik. Now you have IO Husker. Somewhat.
Very, very nice. Speaking of that Husker, John, he's on Roshan now.
Ah, yes. There you go. IO Husker.
Tiger's acting like he's helping. So he's like, get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. Oh, Sammy, be careful.
Toggle,
now.
Sammy.
Roshan's getting upset. He should be fine. It always scares me when it comes to these Huskers and Roshan with armlets and everything else.
Yeah.
He'll be okay.
He is fine, and he's tethered up, so no reason. Okay, not anymore. Taiga just keeps breaking it. Taiga, stick to the man.
Radiant are scanning.
Stick it to the man. I mean, if he had Ags, can you imagine if Taiga had Ags and still overcharge and tether? He's basically IO.
That'd be genius.
That could happen.
That'd be absolute genius. Well, Sammy's going to go on to the bottom tier 1, it seems. very, very slow kind of game. 2-1 so far. Obviously, a lot on the line for either side. This is the, you've been playing the whole year to trying to get to this tournament, so you may as well take your time with every single game that you have. Sure, you give yourself the best odds of winning. I don't know how concerned they are about VTune on this gyrocopter, but they are letting him farm for now. Sammy's on the hunt, but he's not finding anyone. Like, Beta doing a very good job of just staying away from Wildcard. Just not allowing the openings they've been looking for. Though maybe Dendy gets caught now. Or maybe not. Instead, they'll go after the mid-tier one.
Yeah, I think this is pretty good for Bait. They're losing objectives, but they're not losing heroes. The net worth lead of Wildcard isn't that sizable. 2k up. And with no kills to further feed into that lead, then Bait can scale up quite respectably so. VTune's still #1 in net worth, working onto the Ags. You've got a fast BKB being farmed up by Stonebank. And once you have a couple of those tools up, that's when you can start to play this game. For now, just patience. And Wildcard, they're not pushing the envelope too hard either. They're more than happy to try to get more onto RCY and onto Sammy. Sammy is working towards his own Ags as well. So he will have the taunt on life break, which is going to be a massive issue for Bait. But it might not be either, depending on who you do.
Mid lane, they have caught themselves an Underlord. And here comes Vichut with Kadaro. So Sunlight, he's just going to drop. Gets the rift off eventually, but Sammy does not want to go through that, that's for sure.
Why not? Find out what's there. Yeah,
I think it's
reminds
quite
me
obvious.
Who was it? Was it
Maposhka.
Maposhka or Mira? Yeah, it was Maposhka who just decided to walk into the fountain one day.
Yeah.
You never know where it leads you.
That was actually our first LAN together, ESO1 Stockholm.
That was.
It
we
was.
instantly got to witness that. That's a beautiful moment.
It was a Stockholm
Not
major,
meeting
wasn't
you.
it? I think it was.
Yes,
Anyway.
it was.
It was a long time ago.
Oh. It was literally last year, Michael Phoenix.
That's a long
Time
for me now.
ago. That is. It does feel like a long time, doesn't it?
You-
So much
you
has
try
changed
being-
in the game.
You try being married for a year, John. You tell me how long it goes.
Oh, Mike. 2-2. Wildcard Gaming and Bait. Will we reach 40 minutes with less than 10 kills? Is the question.
Doesn't matter, John. Still more action than my marriage right now, I'll tell you that. It's, still much more action.
Does she ever watch your casts on a whim?
Like I told you, it's been a long year, John. It's been a long year. Does she watch my casts? Yes, she does occasionally.
And she tunes in right then.
No, she's out right now. Don't worry, I pick my times. I know what I'm doing. She's busy at the moment, don't you worry. Anyway, smoke out. 4-man smoke here from Wildcard. They'll head down to rather towards the west of the map, see if they can find someone in the dire jungle. Or Stonebank, he may be caught. Tiger, nice lift up. Sammy there with the follow-up, and poor old Stonebank can't really do much about it. Tanks the gank for his team. But Beta's still just playing this avoid game. They've got Ayajaro. Just buy time.
My concern is the other cores are really lagging behind. They're being sacrificed hard. Dendy's progression has slowed down. Stonebank as well. They both are just going for BKBs. So they're banking entirely on the Ayajaro to really carry them through here. You'd have the Ags on VTune. Gate up onto him.
Oh, here we go.
VTune.
VTune. No, he's got the relocate.
Nice.
He's alright. Kadaro will save the day, though Kadaro obviously has to go back and face his demons, John, but unless Vichun wants to man up and go through the gate. Sammy's through the gate, actually. They're all through the gate. RCY is going to take care of it. Never mind.
Yeah. They know. Tinker can just burst down a ball of light. No problem. He studied balls of light, I'm sure. Sammy. Just farming. He's a scientist. He studied beings
so
like
wrong.
Io.
He studies balls of light because he's a scientist.
Yeah.
Thank you, John.
It's science. That's what science is sometimes. To study energy.
Everything's fine. Bait, again, just avoiding. BKB almost up on Vichun, so maybe once the BKB's up, you might choose to get a little bit more active, but chances are he's probably just going to keep farming. Towards the Satanic, at least.
I'd say Satanic and at least the crit stick. You kind of want the Crystallis, if not the full, what seems to be Silver Edge here for the break onto the Husker. You probably need all of that, so you really are stalling for quite some time here. This is it's so fascinating that they're playing so safe with a lineup that's so toxic on Wildcard.
Stonebank. Poor old Stonebank. I'll see why we'll happily secure that kill. It's hard to know which team is enjoying themselves more in this game. Right now, it's a 4K advantage for Wildcard, and Dota Plus is saying they're at 65% win probability. So,
Radiant's middle tower is
even with the draft of Bait, this time around, it's kind of the other way around. You know, they have more faith in the Husker Tinker, it seems.
Yeah, look, I feel like even though the game's going slower, Wildcard is definitely still in control. They've cleared out almost all the outer towers. They're free to do what they want. Sammy's trying to solo the Tormentor. Fascinating.
He's getting there, John. Let the man cook.
Fascinating.
Let him cook,
Fascinating.
John.
He's done.
He's done. That's enough.
I want to see him just go all the way. You know, Sammy?
I think
You
he'll
want
go
your
back.
cat to be happy? You want your cat to be proud of you? Make that move, Sammy. Oh, it's not solo anymore, though. This doesn't count.
No. Who gets a shot? It's gonna be Tiger. Why not? The lift save now available for old Tiger. Lines being drawn towards the top lane here from Sunlight. They really want a big fight. I think Wildcard understand how powerful they are at the moment, and they just do not want to sit back. Mind you, you are about 150 gold away from Sammy Boy having the Ags up on the Husker. So I think you may as well just wait for that first.
Yeah, the taunt duration going to be pretty annoying to deal with. I think Bait's big issue right now is just how poor Stonebank and Dendi are. Like, the Slaughter needs the Blink. Dare I say, it also needs the Harpoon, really, to have a lot of impact here. Dendi as well. Needs his BKB, needs maybe a Gleipnir, even though it doesn't give you all the stats you'd want now for Universal type. It is still fairly strong, just more AoE hold. Roche begins once more.
It does. And right now, there's really no contest for it. Like, the bright side is, Bait are going to find a double damage rune. So there's that going for you. Like, Vichun will at least get a DD rune for himself, but he will not be able to bottle it. And they are still losing Roshan. They are not going to be able to make it in time to contest this. Maybe you could force a fight, though. Like, Sammy is very low at the moment. But they're all going through the twin gates. Stonebank, is he going to make it in time? He won't even stun Sunlight. But he will be able to bash him non-stop at least. As Husky comes back in, so does Sammy. They're going to go for the fight. They're on a Vichun. I don't know about this. They've lost the Aegis. Vichun has an IO. I don't know if this is the fight. RCY's gone. What do you mean? What happened?
Oh my god. That's the real save your buddy syndrome.
They can't keep doing this, John. They can't keep getting away with it.
They can't keep getting away with it. Walking through the gate, trying to back up Sunlight. That's a major blunder. Age is gone. All the kills suddenly coming out for Bait. The lead basically disappears.
So who makes the call? Who made the call here to go back through the twin gate? That's my question.
It must have been...
Just let him
know. Maybe it was Sammy. I mean, he went in through as well, right? Like, if he was against us, you might have... I mean, I don't know, like, that was not the call, for sure. They don't respect the output of Io Gyro. You're not ready on the Husker at that point. And now you're in an awkward spot. You take a look at that graph, you take a look at that nosedive. What's important is we're back to almost 50-50 here.
We're back to 50-50.
Radiant's middle
Beachwood
tower is under attack.
may get caught, but Kadaro should be able to break the smoke before they get there. Tiger, though, he gets the lift up. Kadaro, he doesn't have the relocate yet, but he does have some hills to throw out. In fact, Beachwood, he's just taking through it. Sammy might be the one in danger. He gets hexed up, but he'll be able to eat the cheese and survive a little bit longer. But now a shackle coming out from Denny, locking down two of them. Sammy's in huge trouble.
Oh my
Sammy's
God.
gone. Sammy is down. Sunlight, he's been left behind to boot. RCY has to leave the area. It's just too risky. They even have Tiger controlled up. Sunlight, though, he's taking a long time to kill. They will get him as RCY eventually makes it back. The shackle! Dandy! There's a sniper in the building.
Oh my God. He's a monster. And he's doing this with very little
Did I
farm.
say shackle? Power shot.
The power shot?
Oh, I said shackle. How embarrassing.
It's all good, Mike. You know, you're having marriage trouble. Chat is obviously very filled in now. Thank you for the insights.
You didn't even correct
Shout
me
out
when
to the
I said
loving
shackle.
missus. Because I didn't
like
see
that?
it. I'll be frank, I was staring at them chased down.
Well,
I was staring at Stonebank being
How
tethered up.
else is Dendy going to kill somebody from a mile away, John?
I thought he shackled into a couple of right clicks or a power shot.
Oh.
You know, I thought it was like, oh, he landed a shackle. By itself, Mike, that doesn't sound wrong. You can't blame me for trusting you. You can see why you have marriage issues, Mike. And you can see why Wildcard is having issues. 5-10, 4K lead up for Bait. And Sammy he cannot tank physical damage. He just can't.
He's under vision. They're thinking about it. They've got vision, and Wildcard do not. Wildcard going for the D wards now. They'll get the vision. They'll see the side of Bait just waiting, and they're like, oh, are they going to take the fight? Like, the rest of Bait are coming. This could be risky. Wildcard, they've lost the last couple. Tiger may get spotted. Beachwood, he's going to see Sammy. They see Husky. Kadaro's sneaking his way in. That's a cheeky ward. That's a real cheeky ward. Stominant, a perfect setup. They found Tiger already. They've got Husky to boot.
Oh my God.
And now the cavalry can come in. Sammy's trying to man up. In fact, he might have it. Sammy actually gets through this one. Beachwood and Stonebank dropping. And Bait need to leave.
Okay.
Oh, it works this time.
That was really awkward for Bait. They didn't manage to tether up in that fight. They were a bit split up with the IO. So they weren't able to just link up the lifesteal. I believe the life break did come out, so there was a moment where Vichun did not manage to pop his spells on, did not manage to pop his satanic instantly on the jump in, and they get the control up. So there is still a way back in for Wildcard in these engagements. They've got to be able to break up that combo of IO Gyro. And it was, again, rather split apart. They'd have to watch the positioning quite well. And diving a little bit deep into the tier 2 to force that fight out as well. Just, man, not respecting the side of Wildcard too much. Yeah. And that does even out the game again. So back to 50-50 once more. After a bit of a lead, Bait let go of it, 50-50.
Crazy kind of day of Dota. I mean, if you're Bait, I mean, you're one game away from lower bracket finals. You know, like Wildcard are obviously the ones with more pressure on their shoulders at the moment because they need to force us to a game 3 to keep their hopes alive at TI 12. But Bait, one game away from the finals, the lower bracket finals. But it's not an easy game. It certainly is not an easy game. And like, unless you catch RCY in these fights, it feels like the fights really start to get very, very challenging.
Yeah, it's catching RCY, and it's also pinning down Sammy, preventing him from getting a big use of the life break and spamming out the inner fire. I think those are your two conditions. RCY is maybe a little bit more of a bonus as well at this point. Like, it's really just down to ensuring Sammy at least doesn't life break Vichun before he can pop Satanic. Like, if that timing works out against Bait, if the Satanic doesn't fly on when the jump in from Sammy's there, then it can feel really awkward. Excuse me. They've got the shard up onto Husky, so he has the lower cooldown rebound and can cause more speed boost. And pretty alright shard. Bait have not been able to secure too many of their own tormentors, so you don't have as much coming out. At the very least, you do have Stonebank shard. This is really high value. Just a free corrosive haze every time you use the Slitherine Crush. So it makes it that much easier. It makes it so good. That's actually such a tight combination with Gyrocopter. AoE corrosive haze. That means your side gun or your flak is just doing so much work. It's a scary notion in these clumped up fights. Again, you don't have that much armor coming out for Sammy. He does have a casual plate mail up going into the AC. So that is some protection up, but that should be counteracted a little bit by the AC that Stonebank will look to bring out, or was looking to bring out. Switch to the Nullifier. And never mind that point.
Bit of a quiet period now. Both teams just going to take it easy. Roshan is going to tell us when it's going to respawn in 15 seconds. So that's going to be the big objective, of course. Could be an early one. I mean, Wildcard probably would love an early one because they're already heading towards the Roshan pit. What is it going to be, Mr. Roshan? It's a long one again. I feel like every Roshan today has been a really long Roshan timer.
Yeah, it's felt that way. I mean, generally has been to the favor of Bait, it feels like, every single time we see these long respawns.
Yeah.
So they're not going to mind too much. It's Wildcard that's under a little bit of pressure. There's that Silver Edge. So you can cut down on that durability now on Sammy. Has to be cautious. I mean, he can tank through, for sure, with the AC, but without that added regen, he's not going to have a good time there.
Well, they're going to find Sunlight first. Sunlight going for the Lotus Pool at the moment. This may be a very expensive Lotus Pool usage from Sunlight, but they will not jump the Underlord first because he is not the easiest target to burst down, as it seems like they are ready to fight. Wildcard prepping. Pit of Malice catches nobody. You have to try and catch RCY. Like, this Tinker cannot be allowed to just spam rockets and Shivers guards the whole fight. This is their opening. RCY's gone for a bit, but he's back. It's just so hard to make a jump in this scenario, and you don't have any vision here from Bait. All the wards around this area are all Wildcard wards. It's kind of like you're relying on these power shots from Dendi to give you the vision you require to make an initiation.
Yeah. It's like they can't re-engage without the smoke. It does feel like they need to smoke around here, find an interesting angle. The illusions are giving some information. Roche is half a minute away. With RCY disengaging, it does look like the side of Bait is just going to go farm up a little bit more. They will potentially miss out on Roche if they're not careful. You always have to relocate, I suppose, to bring back Vichun. So it's not going to be too rough here. Let's see. They're still holding on to that area. Wildcard. 10 seconds till Roche.
They're waiting very patiently. Sammy wants first dibs. Snowbank. Let's get out of there. Tiger looking for a lift. Could not find it. In they go. Roshan does begin. Aghanim's Blessing is also available on the Roshan. Third Roshan. You see a lot of value for either side, but it seems like Beta maybe just letting this one go. Not seeing the way to counter this Roshan play. They're just going to let it be, and Wildcard will be able to take it for free.
Yeah. Nuzzle take. Aegis. Cheese. Coming out. And for the side of Bait, it's going to be down to just forcing an opening once more. They've got the free Ags as well for Taiga if he wants to pick it up. And he will. So he could basically become Eye if he wants to, but there's so many good spells to steal. Slitherine Crush is big. All of Lion spells are huge. Even a Shackle can do a lot of work here. Let's see what he opts for. But now, Wildcard, with this Aegis, you've got to find something. Like, this has to be high ground. You're kind of tempting fate if this game drags any longer with how you can itemize on V-Tune, with how much more scaling Dendi has left. Like, they've got to make this work.
Well, they've got time. Like, time is on their side for now. They've got 4 minutes with that Aegis up. MKB suddenly available on V-Tune, so even more damage flying in. Sammy just gonna hang around the eastern side of the map, and Beta just holding their base. They're not gonna move too much. They'll take their time. Actually, don't mind the itemization here from V-Tune. Like, you see an Aghanim's Blessing into a Refresher Orb. Even just the double flak cannon, like having that many flak cannon hits in a row could be really detrimental in a team fight. That's essentially 20 when you refresh, plus the extra side gunner hits that come in. So it's a lot of damage.
It's a hell lot. Just need to find a way to leverage it. You just need to be able to get those hits off, not get controlled, not get taunted by the life break. Wildcard trying to sneak around. This is a long smoke rotation out from them. And Samuel already breaks his, just going back for the farm. And I like this understanding from Bait. They play it safe, they hold high ground. They want the side of Wildcard to push into them.
Oh, they know Sammy's there. They know somebody was farming that camp. So it seems like Beta hellbent on waiting for either the Aegis to expire or either for the high ground attempt to come from Wildcard. Before that, it's all about just not giving any openings to Wildcard and not allowing them that safer opportunity to go high ground. So 2.5 minutes left. This could be a wasted Aegis very, very soon. Wildcard, they are looking to go through mid, but it's just so hard to do this safely without throwing the game back the other way.
Yeah. It's a bit of a challenge for sure. I don't know, like the safe play from Wildcard, I get it. There is to an extent some scaling left for Sammy. And you can start to maybe bank on your 25 to keep your damage consistent. But and the Shark is getting scary. Dendi eventually will find farm. The Nullifier's up on Stonebank. So you have some good answers once more for stuff like the defense matrix. Not gonna be a consistent save coming out here now.
Here we go. Sammy, gonna be okay for now. Only getting stunned really once. It's gonna be a bit of a slower process here for Wildcard.
Radiant are scanning.
Ping's coming out as well. Like they're heading towards the top lane. So it might be a bit of a split push scenario now where you just have two lanes being pushed at the same time. Maybe not even, because Wildcard, you don't really have the greatest pushes apart from this Husker, but no, they are still grouped on the top side. V-Tune. Looks like he's baiting for his team at the moment. Here we go. Fiendsgate is there as well for Sammy to rejoin his team, but Tiger is going to get jumped immediately. Sammy goes for the life break onto V-Tune, but V-Tune is happily fighting back, but now the slams are starting to come out, so Sammy can actually just continue hitting away, but he might just be dead. That's the Aegis gone. In comes Husky, but a nice relocate. Kadaro ensuring that the gyrocopter remains safe as Sammy's continuing to try and fight, but he can't deal with Denny at the moment. He needs to try and kite it out. In he goes onto the gyrocopter. Now they've got V-Tune. V-Tune in huge trouble with the IO, keeping him alive for a little bit longer, but not for long. He is down. Wildcard, it looks like they may have done it. Onto the high ground they go. More buybacks coming in. They need to deal with this Husker somehow. A nice shackle, locking him down, but where's the damage going to come from? V-Tune, he gets chopped again by the life break of Sammy. Sammy trying to put a little of this game straight off the bat. Can he get it done? He can.
Oh my god.
They've got the die back. Sammy will go down in the end, but he'll buy back knowing there's no gyro. Surely there's no way to defend this. It's up to Dendi. He's got Tiger down. Sammy moving in for the jugular. He'll get Stobbin. Can you just go tier 4 towers?
You could. They're opting to play it safe. I think it's just a little bit too slow. The damage is just not there for a push. It's taking too much time. Like, the Slaughter is going to be back up. You have some play with that, with Io Slaughter at the very least. They don't want to throw their chances away. Clear out the top, pressure onto the mid, and just take it slow. They establish a good lead for themselves off the back of that. It's getting harder and harder to save V-Tune here on the gyrocopter.
Certainly not very easy. That'll be the Megas to come out as well. They'll stick around for the tier 4s now. Knowing they've got the Mega creeps up, they'll feel a little bit better about taking this risk. Well, it's a matter of how to stop this from happening now. They've got V-Tune up in 10 seconds just about. There's one tier 4 tower gone. Sammy, he'll go for the second. But no, it seems like they made the call to retreat. They don't want to deal with the gyrocopter. It's happy death time. And why the hell not? With the Megas up, they're feeling very confident now.
Yeah, as they should. Take a look at V-Tune though. He's going for the Divine.
Yeah.
He knows. If he can farm into that point, then this game could honestly drag on longer. Like, the Mega creeps up against Gyro IO, it is something that's somewhat manageable, or it's pretty manageable for the Gyrocopter. So they can hold. It's down to Wildcard to look for that opening. Like, if they just went for the tier 4s, we might not be in this scenario. It probably could have been over, considering the damage output they did have with the Marcy joining in as well. So we'll see. It's a much harder game for Bait to try to turn in. Wildcard in the advantage. Just one team fight, one push to take that last tier 4 into the Ancients. A 95% chance to win here for Wildcard and Bait. They've been patient. They slip up a couple of times. They can't get the saves all the time. And eventually V-Tune does get run down. There's only so much you can do. It feels like once that Satanic fades, V-Tune is just a sitting duck. And that's where things fall apart. After the initial Satanic use, he just dies.
I'm not sure how much the Divine Rapier is going to change in all this, to be honest. But I guess it is the last all-in play that he can go for. Wildcard very patiently waiting. And they're not going to rush this game. They'll give it time. Maybe even just wait for the next Roshan to spawn up first, to really give yourself the safest opportunities. It's not like Beta going to be in a position to contest it either. It's basically just a free Roshan.
Pretty much. They can't dip outside. So just take the freebie in about a minute and just have a secure time to breach high ground. I think the big issue for Bait in this game is not Dendi per se, but the Wind Ranger just has... It had some moments where, you know, you get a power shot off, you get a couple of double shackles, but there's just a severe lack of follow-up control from, say, Stonebank coming in with that Slurrine Crush. There's a lack of damage coming out from the Wind Ranger. It's not doing enough as a hero. And he did have a rough lane for Dendi. It just needs so much farm for the Wind Ranger to kind of have impact in this game, and you just don't have the space to do that, so... It's the one thing. I think the Tinker just caught them off guard. If it was the Husker mid, Dendi would have had a much better time, but Wildcard wants to flex like maniacs, and, well, RCY, he's a terror.
Yeah. 27k advantage. Next Roshan is now available, so they'll go for that first. I didn't realize this was a new patch change, Jonathan. Apparently, 4th Roshan, now he just poops out a gem. Look at that. Just sitting there in the Roshan pit. Perfect. They'll take it as
Yeah.
well. Husky will grab it for himself.
Of course. Gonna be very happy with all of that, plus the free blood grenade. For sure. Very relevant at this point.
Yeah.
Ags comes out, and that is going to RCY, so we have our Shrink Ray,
Great.
which is always fun to see spammed out.
Very fun.
I mean, this has to be like some sick plays from Bait. Some very sick plays. Courier died as well. So Divine Rapier is not going to be here for the fight. Gold's still a bit lacking anyway from Vichun. Oh, they take the Tormentor as well. Okay, now you have the Shard up with a Warp Flare. Nah, this is literally unplayable.
Yes, it is. And here we go. You think Stonemak's having fun, John? Jump in, Sammy. Oh, Sammy, he's gone a bit far this time, but he will lose the first life. Dendy's gone already though. So is Vichu. The gyrocopter's down. They've got a call. This game's well and truly over. Bit anticlimactic,
Oh, boy.
but you know it's how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
That it is. Bait getting caught off guard by the Tinker.